It is my pleasure to introduce the God Moment speaker this morning. She is a dear, dear friend. We got to work together with Women's Bible Study for a few seasons, and I've gotten to be her sub at Woodbridge High School in math. Wow, she's smart. Good thing she has smart kids in the class that can help me. Here we go. She's been attending Voyager since 1985. She's been married to Jim for 39 years. They have 3 grown and married children and 3 grandchildren, and she cares for them 4 days a week. Wow. God bless you. It's Chloe, Emma, and Wyatt. She does love to play pickleball. Her favorite verse from this week's study, and a clear call for her to do the God moment, which is awesome. So when you do the study, if God is calling you and your heart starts to go pitter-pat, jump on up, because we love to hear from you. She loves 1 Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Can I get an amen? Her fun fact that you might not know about Anne, besides the pickleball, is that 30 years ago, she went with her husband and family and lived in the Netherlands, that's Holland, for a year. So please welcome Ann Walton.
Hi, my friend. Thank you. Good morning. Can you hear me? Thank you, Cheryl, for that nice introduction. My story today is somewhat visual, and so I have some slides, and I thought I would slip a few extras in. That's Chloe. She's 5 months old today. She's Caroline's daughter, and Jim and I get to be with her Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And then Emma's on the left and Wyatt is on the right, and they live in Redondo Beach, and I get to be with them on Wednesdays. So you know my schedule now. And the next picture we need to use our imaginations for. I want you to imagine over 40 years ago, a backpack on my back, a Eurail pass in my hand, a friend with me, and we're traveling around Europe after college. Anyone? Yeah. Some of us did that. And of all the notable experiences that we had, the one that just has always stuck in my mind, and I have longed for a 2.0, a repeat on, is the beauty of the Swiss Alps. I'll never forget exiting the train station with my backpack and schlepping myself and my friend to our youth hostel and seeing those majestic mountains that I just felt like I could reach out and touch them. I felt like I'd never seen anything so glorious before. A couple days later, we took a couple of trains up to a village pretty high in the mountains already, and we proceeded to hike even further up with this grand vista before us the whole way. The tinkling of Swiss cowbells in our ears, and the village from which we started disappearing in the distance behind us. So that has been a longing of mine to repeat. So fast forward to this past fall, Jim and I had a window to get away for a couple of weeks, and we decided to go to Europe, and we called it our Going Home Tour. As Cheryl shared with you, we lived in Holland for a year, 30 years ago. Jim, as a little boy, lived in Vienna for a couple of years also. So we went and we visited all these places that we had been to before, with the exception of Switzerland. Jim had not been to this region of Switzerland before. And it was truly going to be the pinnacle of our trip for me. So, where am I? So we are on our way to Switzerland, and I realized that the weather forecast isn't looking so great for our 4 days there. So I'm praying fervently that God would give us some good days. And actually, there we go. This was our view the day we arrived, the afternoon we arrived. So I did get to see the glorious mountains. But we planned our hike for the best weather day possible, which wasn't looking great. And we journeyed all the way up at the top of the cable car, hoping we might even be above the clouds. We got off and this was our view. And yeah, there we go. And so you can see in the placard what we're supposed to be seeing. And the reality was, it was there. We just couldn't see it. I did an internet search on that hike just to find, like, what does it really look like? Because I didn't get to see it. Oops, spoiler alert. That's what it was. Yeah. And then notice the path, the little gravel path, because that was us. That was us. You can imagine I was crestfallen. I was so disappointed. I was pleading with God. I was praying for him, reminding him he could do anything. Can you just part this wall of mist, please? But I reminded him that I knew what was behind that veil. I had seen it before with my own eyes, and it was unchangingly beautiful. Well, as God does when you're hiking in mist for hours, he spoke to me, and he reminded me of several things. One was to see the beauty that I could see, to not miss that beauty. The droplets of water on the ferns, the rivulets of water coursing down the hill from right to left. This man of 39 years of marriage who had faithfully loved me. Like, don't miss that, he was saying. He also reminded me that we walk in this life by faith, not by sight. That the ability to see is his purview and not always ours. And then he reminded me that those same solid, known and true mountains were equivalently true of him, that he's always with me. He's even more glorious and more constant and more faithful than those mountains. And that I mustn't forget that in the fog. Well, God did give us a peek of a peek. It wasn't the grand vista, but it was 5 minutes of grandeur. And it was really, Jim was suitably awestruck, and I was validated in my descriptions, you know, when you're telling someone something and they're like, yeah, right. Which was really fun also, that as we're walking, we're imagining the peaks are right about here. And when they showed themselves, they were here. And isn't that true of God? You know, we get a glimpse and we're like, oh no, that's right, you are this glorious. Well, oh, and here's a little bit more. Yeah, that's a zoom. I was so excited. I was like giddy, which is really interesting, isn't it? When we scale our expectations back, God can really fill us with joy over something that originally we would have been like, really, is this all, you know? But I was sincerely praising him and thanking him for that. The rest of our hike was kind of like this, which is beautiful in the foreground, but we never again saw those high peaks that I was longing for. So it kind of begs the question, did my dream come true? That which I had been thinking of and imagining for decades. And the answer is no. I didn't get what I was really, really looking forward to. But I did get a lived experience of that metaphor or analogy of deep and lasting truth. And I don't know about you, but I'm in a season of fog right now. In so many directions in my life, there are unmet needs that I don't quite see how and what God's doing. But these are moments, maybe you're like that also, but these truths anchor me in the reality of God's presence, even when I can't see him. I have seen him, I do know, and he is even grander than I am even imagining. So I can walk with confidence. We can walk with confidence in the fog. And sometimes, even as a bonus, God will lift back the curtain and give us a glimpse. Thank you.